I want to tell you some stories about real life people making real life transformation. Some of these astonish even me after almost 50 years. So, to do that, let me give you a little bit of background. Most conventional wisdom right now, it tells us that we're supposed to change our mindset, think differently, or feel differently. And I don't know about you, but for me, um, if I could have done those things, I would have done those things. Plus, they feel way too superficial to me and like band-aids. And when someone tries to get me to do that, I always feel like they don't really understand and they're not taking me in at the level that I'm talking about. So it feels kind of belittling in a way, demeaning. And yet, I've still been able to create great transformation in myself and in my clients. So, how is that? If you can't change your mind, if changing your mindset isn't enough, and if being more logical and changing your feelings isn't working, then what can you do? Well, what most people don't know is that there's another. Well, actually, what most people don't realize is that the real you is still there. She's still there. And she's buried underneath the crust of history, absolutely, and very difficult to get to using, well, impossible to get to, in my opinion, using logic or mindset work, because logic and mindset work are not geared toward finding the real you, finding you beneath the crust of your history. They're not capable of it. It's not fair to ask them to do that. However, she's still there. So how do we get there? Well, that's a longer story. I'm not going to go into the explanation of how we get there. Just take in for a moment the possibility, if you are feeling skeptical, that she's still there. Because probably you're longing to feel like yourself again. And that the way you're going about life and being successful and yet not feeling that what the way you're being successful is sustainable and really wanting to feel like yourself again, probably that's not something that you know how to get to. And in my opinion, mindset work and logic and changing your feelings can't ever get to that level of the self. Where it's like somebody yesterday in a class I was doing said that the feeling of feeling like you're muted. Absolutely. So no matter, despite all the success, there's still a sense that you are muted. How do we get there? Well, what conventional wisdom says is that you, as I've been saying, change your thinking or just do it. Basically, it kind of comes down to that, right? Just do it. But or pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Try harder. Don't be silly. That doesn't make sense. Be more logical. Um, if you don't think that way, it's not serving you. Think a different way. And all of this is taking what the gap where you want something in yourself, you're not getting there, and some part of you is automatically protecting yourself. That's for another conversation. And yet the possibilities are right there on the other side. So that's the gap. You have the goal, that's something you want to get to. Then you have this automatic protection, which feels like resistance, and that can feel very bad to us, our internal resistance. And then there's the where we're going, all the possibilities. So if to get from here to there, most people try to forcibly build something of themselves, pull themselves up by the bootstraps, force themselves to do the work, even though they feel completely alone in their success, to move forward with by pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, by doing it alone, by feeling terrible as they're doing it, and yet having success. And doing it this way maybe was great in the beginning, this kind of effort and push and pull, but it's not sustainable. So they're forcing this bridge over the gap between where they are and what they want. What most people don't realize is that there's, like the San Francisco Bridge behind the mist, the real you is still here. The you with your original resources and abilities. I know you probably don't believe me, right? But I'm saying this after, well, almost 50 years of working with transformation and more than 8,000 women. And then about a quarter of a century of working with the process that I do now, where this original, resourceful, authentic you, we find her all the time. Not just find her, but she emerges. So I know you may be skeptical. I'm just saying she's there. Okay. And I only know from experience. So here's the San Francisco Bridge behind the mist. And we we can't see the bridge. And the mist is all of our history and all of our experiences, which shaped us, if you will, from a square peg into a round peg so that we can fit in the whole of society and family and how other people think we should be and how to stay safe when we were kids. So we had to change who we were because of traumas, but the the shavings or the original self, she's really there. So why build this bridge here with so much effort and grunt and groaning when our real self, she's right there behind the mist. Now this also applies to neural pathways. I mean, it really is it's not just a metaphor for neural pathways, it's actually real. So we have the original neural pathways of which create an authenticity in us, which they don't create an authenticity, they are our authenticity. So, for example, my clients tell me all the time, I just found myself doing it. I just found myself saying it. I just found myself feeling it. It's like shocking to them because it just comes out. Whereas this bridge, the one that's the original neural pathways. But this bridge, the one that we're building, there's nothing original about that. And we're having to force the neural pathways to move from, across the synapses when the original one had many, many synapse crossings, many, many experiences that are still there. It's just that there's brambles and boulders that are interfering with the pathway. So let me give you an amazing story that illustrates this. This is a wonderful woman in the healthcare professions, extremely competent, has a family and a very good job in the healthcare professions, a leader in her work. She had a very, 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 very difficult childhood, lots of trauma and abuse of all kinds. And she was also taken to hospitals and psychiatric hospitals, given very horrible care, horrible. That made things worse. A lot of helping professionals that when she was a kid made things a lot worse. It was just horrific. So you would think that a person that suffered like that would have a really, really, really hard time in life. And yet, here she's got this beautiful family, loving kids. She's a wonderful mother, um, a caring relationship with her husband, and a great job. So you know that she's been working overtime internally to to be able to have that kind of success because she's had to overcome all of the ways that she was treated, all of her negative experiences, and then the negative way they were treated on top of that. And amazingly, she has hope. She had hope. Somehow, I don't understand how, she still maintained hope that her life could be better, that she wouldn't have to be living it. This success that she was having, she was also exhausted, completely exhausted. Really, despite the fact that I think she's a wonderful, loving mother, it came at such a cost to her. And she felt like she had no time to herself. She has younger kids, no time to herself, and just wanted and would just hide herself away a lot. And then at work, it would feel like that when there were certain people that would really trigger her, like officious, kind of officious people, and um, over controlling people would really trigger her and would send her down a rabbit hole of feeling terrible about herself and very small. And she wanted to change all of this, and she worked her butt off to do it with the work that I do. With the deep transformation method, which uses eidetic imagery, and we've gone as deep as a person possibly can. And she's worked it and worked it and worked it, and what's happening is that the first of all, the women at work that used to trigger her and make her feel so little and less than, like it's gone. In fact, with one woman, she's become kind of a colleague, and the other woman, they they worked. There was a way of handling it where she was able to help that woman just like calm down. There were a couple women, the second woman to calm down and stop, like spewing her um, supposed knowledge at everybody with her kids and at home and with her husband. She's not feeling exhausted anymore. Now you can't logic your way out of that. You can't tell yourself I'm not going to feel exhausted anymore. You either are exhausted or you take care of yourself, and it either helps or it doesn't help. So she's not needing to like stay by herself to kind of regroup. She's not needing to she's not feeling so overwhelmed when she gets home. In fact, she's being with the kids and with her husband in this open, loving, connected way that everybody in her family, they're just eating it up. She's so present with them and with herself. She's finding a way to take care of what she needs as well as be in love and loving with the people that she cares about the most in the world. We spent basically an entire session talking about all the different good things that had happened to her just since a couple weeks before ago that when I talked to her, since we had done a mastermind retreat. Absolutely astonishing. And what was most astonishing about it really was that she kept saying, I just can't believe it. I'm stunned. I can't believe I actually do feel this way. So that is just one example of what's possible in a human being. And I really wanted you to hear that because I think most people out there have forgotten that and don't believe it anymore. I get to see it every day, every day. So, no, it's still there.